Thailand has been grappling with anti-government protests that started in early 2020. Defying a government ban on gatherings, tens of thousands of young Thais have been taking to the streets of the capital Bangkok and more recently holding demonstrations in other cities around the kingdom. Police have responded by firing water cannons and arresting dozens of protesters. The political standoff surfaced after Thailand's March 2019 elections, which brought 5 years of military rule to an end. Since the 2014 coup that toppled the elected government of Yingluck Shinawatra, Thailand had been ruled by a military junta that installed General Prayuth Chan-ocha as Prime Minister. But before the long-awaited 2019 elections, Prayuth left the army so he could run for office as a civilian. After campaigning with the support of military-backed parties, election results disputed by opposition figures returned Prayuth to office. His continued role as Prime Minister ensured that Thailand's military remained at the heart of Thai politics, even after civilian rule was restored. In the 2019 elections, most young Thais supported the Future Forward Party, which came in third after the polls closed. But in February 2020, a court ordered the party to disband. Judges ruled against its leader, Thanathorn Juangroongruangkit, over charges he had issued an illegal loan to the party. Young Thais who were angry about the ruling were soon protesting on the streets. The demonstrations were interrupted by measures to fight the COVID-19 pandemic, but protesters returned in June after the disappearance of a pro-democracy activist who was living in exile in Cambodia. Protesters accused Thai authorities of arranging for the activist to be kidnapped, a charge denied by the police and government officials. The demonstrators have three key demands. They want Prayuth to resign as Prime Minister and a new, more democratic constitution. They also want reform of Thailand's powerful monarchy. Thailand has the world's strictest lèse-majesté laws which prohibit insults to the royal family. The monarchy has for decades been the most influential force in Thai society, culture and politics. However, the monarchy entered a period of transition after the death of King Bhumibol Adulyadej in 2016. The end of his 70-year reign allowed his son, King Maha Vajiralongkorn, to succeed him. His father had been a largely unifying force in a country that has endured years of political infighting and several coups. So the latest challenges to the monarchy's power and legitimacy are unprecedented, creating a potentially explosive backdrop to the grievances against Prayuth's military-linked government. On October 14th, protesters heckled a royal motorcade carrying Queen Suthida and the king's youngest son, Prince Dipankorn. Two activists were arrested on charges of attempting violence against the Queen. They could face life in prison if convicted. Demonstrators also object to the king's decision to declare crown wealth and holdings as his personal assets, making him the richest person in Thailand. And the king faces criticism for claiming military power should be in royal hands. He has transferred two key army units from the military chain of command and into the direct control of the palace. Prime Minister Prayuth has meanwhile rejected the protesters' demands for him to step down. He cited the incident involving the Queen's motorcade to justify an emergency decree banning gatherings of more than 5 people in Bangkok. The order also enforces a nationwide ban on broadcasting or publishing news and information that incites public fear.
The objective behind this order is because we receive information from intelligence units concerned that parts of the content and distorted information have been used and disseminated to cause confusion and instigation, causing an unrest in society.
Thai authorities have also reportedly banned Telegram, an encrypted messaging app used by protesters.
มาแสดงจุดยืนเฉยๆว่าเราจะไม่ยอมจำนนต่อเผด็จการอีกต่อไปคืออยากแสดงให้เขาเห็นว่าถึงเขาจะทำอะไรมีวิธีการอะไรที่แบบสกปรกขนาดไหนก็ตามหนูก็แบบว่าอยากออกมาให้เขารู้ว่าแบบมันไม่มีผลอะไรกับคนตอนนี้แล้วอะไรเงี้ย
Despite the emergency decree, protesters remain defiant and refuse to back down, further stoking the flames of the latest chapter of Thailand's long history of political turmoil.